What you got, Nathan?
Hey, Nathan's got something. He's
Look at this. He's got a collection.
So
Holy cow.
This. Guess what I found?
You got
some really old boxes.
A whole horde of Commodore 64 stuff.
I found me a big pile of stuff in the box.
That's ridiculous, man.
And get that off there because I need that right now.
What we got here? I need a little close-up.
So this is actually pretty neat. It's still a little dirty. I haven't cleaned it yet. I literally just got it out and set up a picture and sent it to you guys. I'll put that picture now. And then, yeah. So there's a few things here I have not seen actually since the 80s. And one, I have not seen
Easy there.
Ever, except on a video by
I don't think I've ever myself seen a Commodore 64 in the box still. I mean, I know it's not originally in the box, but it has its boxes.
Yeah. So
all of them.
Yeah, this one, and weirdly enough, usually they say when you open up, they'll say something like, welcome to the world of friendly computing or something like that.
Yeah.
This one does not say that.
Oh.
It's usually right there.
Look at this.
So, yeah,
holy
you're
cow.
on video, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So, got some extra stuff, but yeah, so I've actually full-blown Commodore 64 in here with a few extra cables. This is the cable that it came with. And I've got this is the drive cable.
Yeah.
It didn't come with a power supply, but I found the power supply, but then I plugged it in, was testing it, and it overheated immediately. So the caps are bad, and we'll replace those, and it should be
pretty,
fine.
Unfortunately, a common thing with C64s.
Yeah, and I didn't have plugged into the 64. It was literally just because it was not on. So
I got lucky. The one I got had a bad power supply, and it powered up, and the light kept fading off on the C64. I thought, well, it's a bad connection, but it was a bad power supply. But I was able to test it with someone else's power supply, and it actually is just fine. So I got lucky.
So if you can tell, I'm actually happy that like my shirt fits the computer this time.
Well, that fancy camera work.
Yeah.
So
got to have lots of close-ups for this good stuff.
Oh yeah. So the neat thing is, when I grew up, I had a Commodore 128.
Sure.
And later on in life, maybe about I'd say mid 90s. Or late 90s, I was given a Commodore 64, and then I didn't know what to do with it and had problems, and I honestly just got rid of it and gave it to a friend of mine.
Sure.
So, because it was like, I don't
You didn't throw it away.
I didn't throw it away. I gave it to a friend. So, and this one's really not
a clean
yellow bad either. It's got a little bit of clean needs to be done, but not horrible.
The one I have is a little yellowed. So.
Yeah, and this one is in decent shape. I did go ahead and take it apart and kind of dusted it off, and all I've done was dust it off.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's that. There's the floppy disk drive. I haven't seen a box for one of these floppy disks since the 80s, and it still has the original sales sticker on it.
How much was it? Well, Hills Department Store. That shows us $148.86.
Yeah.
Woo!
Man.
Yeah, they're
in 80s money.
In 80s
money, yeah. So
it's a massive box.
These computers were an investment. Well,
the floppy
drives are pretty big.
Yeah.
Back in these days, that's the floppy drive.
The Commodore's floppy drive was basically the biggest floppy drive of all of them, I think.
Oh my!
So it was bigger than the color computer drives, and it was bigger than the Atari drives. So they got their big old power supply in the back.
That's
these do have a built-in power supply, don't they? Yeah, that's part of the weight is the built-in power supply.
Yeah, and this is that's another payphone's in there.
Yeah.
Wow. But the neat thing is, so I had seen one of these in the store, never owned one, never knew anyone that owned one. It's actually the Commodore printer.
That's amazing.
Oh wow!
How much did it cost? It came from Hills too.
Did it?
It was $129.97.
$129.97.
Wow.
So we have to find the sticker on the actual computer box there, right?
Yeah. So was Hills local to here?
There were some in Bloomington.
There's
Central Indiana, especially. It may have been local to Indiana, though. So
yeah.
They advertise on TV a lot up this way.
So this one even has the manual.
Oh. shiny.
That's pretty cool.
This looks to be the later C64 markings too, the way it looks in the box design. So is it dot matrix? I guess
It is a dot.
Close
It is
command.
a. Yes, it is a dot matrix
you know, it's
printer.
dot matrix, or if it was one of those
So, and you can't.
temperature whatever deals.
No, it's dot matrix. So the
So it makes music.
yeah. So I'm
Absolutely.
going to get this thing working, and we
Oh
will-
yeah. We'll have to do a full-on demo. Then we'll have to get it with your SX64 just to be crazy.
Yeah, and I have the SX64 as well. So this has the cartridge in it. I have 2 unopened new cartridges.
Oh, wow. Hopefully they're not dry.
Well, even if they are, you can
It
make
looks
them live again.
good and clean
By adding, I
inside.
think it's either isopropyl alcohol or something. You can actually make it work again.
Right.
So it's actually surprisingly really, really clean.
Yeah, it is.
That is.
But what they did is that they used this thing when they were done with it. They put it. This is a friend of mine's that I bought from them. So when they're done, they just put it back in the box and shoved it in the closet.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, just
So-
Been
stored
there
it
ever
away.
since, huh?
I think it's
Ever
great. Yeah.
since.
Wow. Those are the best kind of finds, though.
Oh my, yeah, because then you get something you never had, like the original boxes.
Right.
Set that down there.
Yeah.
So was this kept inside its whole life? Like it wasn't
Oh,
in
yeah.
a barn or
Nope, I think it
garage or anything
was.
like
I'm pretty
that?
sure it was either in their basement or just in a,
Okay.
in a
Well,
closet
that
or
kind of
something.
explains some of the clean condition, too.
Yeah,
As
it's
well as
actually-
just being in the box.
Yeah. So the other thing that came with this that I've only seen on 8-bit, is either 8-bit keys or 8-bit. Well, the 8-bit guy had it, but I've never seen one of these in person, and I never saw one of these when I was growing up until his.
Oh wow.
Was considering the fact we just did a video on your keyboard,
Absolutely.
is the incredible musical keyboard.
Incredible musical keyboard.
Is there a price sticker on this?
Look at that.
There might
Well,
be.
there might be. Looks like all the stuff they bought from Hills at the same time has them.
This has I don't think it's an
I
inventory
don't think
sticker.
it is either.
I don't know. But anyway,
That's interesting. So
So-
it just goes over the
It
obviously the
overlays.
keys of the
Wow.
C64.
yeah. So it lays on top of it there. We get it to see.
Yeah.
And then,
Does it
Oh, that's
does it just
insane.
attach to keys on the keyboard itself?
Yeah, it just pushes down
I
the
see.
keys.
So they're mapped to those. That's kind of
Yeah.
neat. It's kind of funny. The software for it, you'd be able to cheat though.
well, yeah.
I want to know
But
how
the,
much this cost
Yeah.
So
for this piece of plastic.
for that little piece, I have no idea. I would have to look that up.
Sight and Sound Music Software Incorporated.
Yep. So
Somebody's put cheat stickers on it.
the only part that they didn't have, well, 2 things. They didn't have the cassette drive, but in the United States, cassette drive was not that prevalent.
However, I've never brought it on the show. I have a working Commodore cassette
That
drive.
is actually pretty
because
neat.
the one I have doesn't have a floppy drive and it has a whole stack of tapes, and
Oh,
most of
that's
them
cool.
still work. I mean, it blew my mind the thing worked without any. I didn't have to
Oh,
change
yeah.
a belt or anything. So
I think they're actually direct drive. That's probably why.
that
Because they're
could be
actually
why.
really well.
Because it
well-made
works really
cassettes.
well.
Yeah.
And even those old tapes will still load the programs.
Yeah.
So
And most of the time, the maintenance on this is clean the grease off and put new grease and just clean it and then clean the rest of the inside. And these will just pick right up and work again because the grease just dries out. But
Absolutely.
the other thing that I really wanted, but they didn't have, but that's okay because I can work around it, was the original monitor for this.
Yeah.
Other than that, they had
back in the 90s, I feel like I saw
Shut up.
those a lot more often, the monitors, but they're pretty hard to come by today. Partly because they're bulky and in the way, I think people toss them a lot more.
Yeah, there's still some left, but they're going on eBay for like money.
Yeah, and the outside of the casing matches these and everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. So, however, the later comment, and I believe this to be a later peripheral. I think they're probably
I'm
purchased at the same
pretty
time
sure that is
because
too,
this looks more like. It looks like what's the computer? I've watched an 8-bit guy video on it that they released to try to be the next C64, and it didn't catch on.
Oh, well, okay.
It
yeah,
looked like
I had one of
this.
those too. They had
Yeah.
it was the Plus 4.
It was the Plus 4. This is in the style of the Plus 4, honestly.
Yeah,
as is the box.
So my computer history actually went TRS-80, then it went to the Commodore 128, then I got a Commodore 16 and a Commodore Plus 4, thinking they were going to be gaming machines.
That's cool that
which
you got the
is
Plus
not.
4 because that's a lot less common.
Yeah.
I mean, C64s, they were selling, according to
Well-
one figure I saw that one of the owner's sons mentioned that was later a vice president of Atari,
Oh yeah, yeah.
said that at one point when the C64 was in its prime, they were making 400,000 of them a month.
Oh yeah,
It may have been
Crazy
a week, I
amount.
don't remember, but they
Yeah.
sold more. These sold like 10 to 1 to any other computer at the time.
Well, and I still think to this day it is the best-selling computer of all time.
It is, yeah. I saw
by
that
far.
statistic recently as well.
And if you take the rest of the variants in there, it's probably way more. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I just and so there's a picture. If you go on Wikipedia and you look up Commodore 64 history, you'll find a guy named Bill Hurd.
Yeah.
Bill Hurd made the
That name.
C128, and he made a bunch of other things.
Yes.
Okay. So there's a picture of Bill Hurd getting a book signed by the guy you're talking about, who was the head of, just on instant blank, it was
Jack
Trammell.
Trammell.
Now, the funny part of that picture, though, is it's Jack Trammell before he passed away. I think he was pretty sick at the time. So Bill Hurd was getting a book signed by him,
Sure.
which I think they were friends or something, or I know they worked together. But in the background of that picture is one of the creators of Apple.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Wozniak was in the back.
Wozniak was in the back.
Wozniak with his wife is sitting next to him. So I just thought that was funny. I think it was at the Computer History Museum, but it's on Wikipedia. If you look that up, it's actually really, really neat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I love the history findings. But I opened this up and went through it real quick just to make sure that everything looked like nothing was burnt. Everything was in pretty good shape. And on the inside of this thing, other than all the dust, was immaculate.
Right.
And dusting, that's easy. You take a nice, pretty soft paintbrush and
Oh, yeah.
take that right off. And honestly, I looked at the yellowing. I mean, it's probably yellowed a little. I
not
kind of see
much.
it there, but
Bad.
It's not much. Mine almost looks darker brown. The top is yellowed.
Yeah.
But my
and if you get to the
fellow
bottom,
I work with bought one after I bought mine. That's whose power supply I borrowed, and his was
Okay.
very nice and is not yellowed at all. That's how I could tell mine was so much different.
Yeah.
As far as the yellowing, because these are a little hard to tell. As they called them, bread box style C64. The original is they're already a tan color originally anyway.
Yeah, they're like a tan
Their yellowing
gray.
looks a little different than some of the old computers do.
But I think if you look at like this spot here, because it's usually the most hidden from anything.
Yeah.
You look at the top; it's really not that far off. So
Yeah, I like the spot there in the middle. Yeah. Oh, hang on. I'm too dumb to write my phone. Yeah, it didn't always. iPhones don't tend to rotate very quickly on their video if you start them too quick. Yeah, so kind of.
this color there compared to, let's say, like that color.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Which it's a little bit, but it's not a lot. I think honestly, cleaning this one up may be enough without actually having to do any kind of retro bite. Now, unlike my TRS-80, it's
That guy's
Oh, yeah.
yellow.
it's a yellow crayon,
Yeah.
man.
And,
It's just, it
As
needs
is
it
the
bad.
Atari 400 that you
Oh,
found in the
boy,
barn.
that poor thing. So this takes the round in connector power supply, and it didn't come with one, so I bought one.
Yeah. C64 power supplies are kind of odd birds. They supply
It's 2 voltages actually.
2 voltages, 9 volts AC and 5 volt DC.
Yeah. And that's it. There's nothing
Yeah.
else. But if you open this thing up, it's got rectifier built in. It's got all kinds of voltage regulators in
Yeah.
it.
It uses that AC signal for timing of the clocks, some of the clock timing on its chips or something. So it's a very different design
yeah.
from any of the other 8-bit computers.
It did well, and a lot of it has to do with if you have a NTC or PAL machine, it changes the clock speed on
Yeah,
the
sure
machines.
would. That makes sense. Yeah, because you'd have 60 hertz NTSC and 50 PAL
Yeah, so
in like
you-
Europe and other countries.
Yeah, so the color burst is different between them. It's a 3.58 as
Yeah,
opposed to
and
a
scan
4
lines. There's more scan lines one versus the other.
Yeah, so there's 100 lines difference.
I
actually,
knew it was
is.
pretty major. So
The only problem is I was hoping this power supply was going to be okay, but
yeah,
It
there's
didn't.
several styles. Mine's in a different style than this even.
this is an aftermarket.
Yeah, okay.
But it,
Because
when I
often
plugged
you
it
have
in,
the
it
ones that
got
look
hot
like
real fast.
Yeah, the ones that look like Commodore.
Yeah,
The bricks with the lines that match the hardware
Yeah,
are
yeah.
the ones filled with wax. So
yeah.
mine
This
looks
one-
like this with lines, but it is a Commodore power supply. I believe it to be a later one
Yeah.
than the original ones.
This one's an aftermarket, it's a Maxtron or something. But it was supposed to work, and it probably did because when I originally
Mine needs the
measured it,
regulator redone, and it'll be fine, I think.
This one, I'm pretty sure the caps are gone
Because mine's all the way up
got
to almost
hot.
5.5 volts, and even at 5.3, it's out of range. Apparently, is
Yeah.
what they say on the DC side. So,
5.25. If it's a standard TTL voltage is 5 1/4 is your high. You only know a quarter up or quarter down.
It was 5.3 or something like that.
Yeah.
So 5.3.
That's a bit high, yeah.
Because I thought, well, that's in range, and I looked up online, and people are like, no, you get to
Yeah.
5.3 volts, you need to
You're
be
risking
done with
things.
that one.
Yeah,
so.
you need
and
to
the
pull it
machine
out.
would not boot on that, so it wouldn't even you wouldn't even get the red light. So.
Yeah, but it's got the round connection. You just plug right in and go.
Sure.
And honestly, I thought about just trying to go into because I got bench power supplies. I was going to fire it up on the bench power supply.
You could probably do that.
I probably
You could probably use the AC off that one and then put the 5 in on the other, and it would probably work.
Yeah, well, I think I'm going to have to crack the plastic on that to get into it. My honest thought was I don't care because it's an aftermarket power supply, so I don't really care about the case.
Well, video I'd like to do, and
Yeah, I'm
maybe we
just
could
gonna
do it with that
recase
one
it.
even, because I know the transformer's just fine in mine. So
I think this one is
so
too.
I'm going to obtain the parts, and we're going to rebuild that power supply right here on a video. Probably when the weather gets cold around these parts, we'll have more time for that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, marching band stops.
Yes.
The two of us
Yeah,
do a lot of marching
We
band
work with
things.
our local high school marching band. We both have kids in it, and it's a time commitment if you commit to it, and we have.
I don't know what you two are complaining about.
Yeah. You're a wise, childless one. Kids are great. That sounded really poor. It's like, I
My
love
kids watch
we,
this.
we like our kids. We do. Or else we wouldn't go to marching band and kill ourselves sweating.
guys.
So,
Oh my!
so yeah, it's a great stash you found.
really
Yeah,
is.
I was amazed when she.
Do you have the
honestly-
discs that were with it with you?
I didn't bring it with me. No,
okay,
it came with.
I'd love to go through those sometime.
It came with about 300 floppy
that's,
disks.
that's wonderful.
I mean, it's two of the flip up cases.
Because I don't even have
Packed
a 1541 at all with mine, and I just have a few cassettes. Some of them are actually full on games that take a while to load.
Anyway.
So anyway,
Maybe
I
a
found
good
this
minute
whole.
to throw.
I found this. I was. All right. So I was talking with a friend of mine when she was over at the house, and I was like talking about stuff I collect and all this, and she said, "Well, I've got some Commodore stuff I don't really want to just throw away. I'd rather just sell
awesome.
some of it." I said, "Well, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
If it's anything Commodore, I'll go ahead and buy it. It may not be worth a lot of money, but I'll go ahead and buy
Sure.
it anyway." And she was like, "Okay, well, I'll bring it over," and she brought it Sunday and handed it to me, and I thought she was going to bring me like a C64
Right.
and a drive.
That's
I
what
had
you
no
usually
idea
get,
it was going to get the boxes and
Yeah,
everything,
This is a
and the
wonderful
magic keyboard for the thing.
This is a wonderful group of stuff to obtain for somebody into old computers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, and it's one of those that
So cool.
I'm going to get that working. I've got to order some paper for it, but I have ribbons.
Which
so,
ridiculously, you can still buy the paper.
I'm sure of that.
Oh yeah. Amazon will sell you anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So I've got, but there's some things I want to do with this. I have plans for this. So I'm going to do a couple mods to this. One, I'm going to do the SID to SID for it. So you
Okay.
get dual SID chips, 6 voice.
Okay, yeah, that's for the audio. Okay.
Yeah, so,
Took me a
and then
minute
it
to
has to
remember
add
what
a
chip that was.
secondary audio out for the thing, but that's
Sure.
okay because I can do that. And then I want to get, there's a lot of ham radio things for these that you can still get to do a lot of neat
In
things.
fact, I've bought 2 very specific that used to be very pricey ham radio cartridges a while back,
Yep.
remember? And I'm going to figure those out. We're going to go through those for a video in the future
Yep.
on one of our working C64s.
Yeah.
We have a couple.
Yeah, now we have a few of them to
I
play
don't have
with.
to buy a
Amongst us.
C64 now.
Yeah, you can borrow mine
Yep.
whenever you want it.
Yeah, so my plan is to do some synthesizer stuff with this.
That'd be great.
Both with that keyboard, the Magic Keyboard overlay, and also doing some stuff. I would like to get into some programming with this thing. I have
cool.
to kind of get back into that a little bit.
Might
anyway,
be cool
but
to build some hardware that works with it too. There's
That
a lot of
was-
plans out there, I'm sure, still because it was such a
Yeah.
common thing in its heyday.
Well, and it's so easy to do because
Yep.
that's just basic. That's a bus
Yeah.
architecture port.
My
as you got-
C64 came with the extended manual. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's this thick in a ring binder. It even
I
has
have.
it has the entire schematic in the back folded
Oh,
up for
sweet.
the whole computer.
wow.
So you
yeah.
can access all the pin. I'll
Yeah,
have to let
'cause
you look at that.
This is
So-
your cassette port.
That's the cassette.
and that's the. That's a, what is that actually a parallel port? Is that what that's? I, mean,
I think so. That's the cartridge port.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
the
that
game
other
port.
one is the parallel. Yeah,
But this took a lot of different peripherals, but like all kinds of peripherals would actually plug into this thing.
absolutely. Yeah.
But it actually also, I didn't bring it with me. It came with 2 joysticks. They were aftermarkets. But it also came with the original paddles that were Commodore branded. So I've got some extra little things, and there's like a bloody ton of games.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and the nice thing is C64.com is the
Yes.
game storage
Now,
load
something
for
I
all the old
considered
stuff.
after reading about the cassette interface and how it works, I've actually considered writing software in C#, Microsoft.NET stuff. And there's already apps out there. Like there's an Android app I successfully managed to load most of one tape from my phone, just plugging it, using a cassette adapter, like you plug it into your car, into my tape, into my cassette drive, and it
that's
worked.
hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
The trick is you have to stop and start at the right times. That's very difficult.
Yeah.
But I thought about building such a thing where you could run these WAV files you can download of
yeah.
these tapes. But since I've learned something about both serial and audio control, detecting the level and actually creating a software PC loader that works through the cassette port to load the old tapes. So
Well, the neat thing is they make a 50. I think they're usually referring to it, I think, as the 1581 now, but it is the SD card reader replacement for that.
sure, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
So
There's,
it's just a
there's a
little
lot of
thing
neat
that sits
hardware
there.
people have come up with to bring these
Yeah.
and make them easier to use in current times.
And they keep releasing new games for this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, old. You're
This
talking about
probably has a lot
1980.
of them. The Atari line has quite a few, especially the Atari video game consoles.
Oh, yeah.
But this obviously is going to have the most because it was by far the most popular in this
Oh, yeah.
country and much
Yeah.
of the world too.
Yeah,
So,
a good chunk of the world. Yeah. Yeah, there was a variant on this. I think was even made by Soviet Union.
Yeah,
It was
I'm
like one of
sure,
their
yeah.
first allowed private companies.
These were in
was making
production from
a version of this.
1982 until 1994.
Yeah.
So they had
Long time.
They may have had the longest run in the U.S. of manufacturing, unless
Oh,
that's
my,
an
yeah.
overseas number or date. But
No, this is local. It's P. So the P indicates in TSC. I did look
oh,
that
okay,
up.
that's cool.
And I don't remember what the rest of it. Actually, the rest serial numbers. I tell you some.
Yeah.
So, what I want to do with this, I want to get. Of course, I'm trying to make my game room for kids and have a lot of my classic stuff, and they're really thrilled about it too. So it's pretty sweet.
Absolutely.
I'm making a mess on our tablecloth. That's just
Oh,
terrible.
no.
Bad Nathan. I have to launder it probably. It probably
Just
is.
can't have nice things.
I know. I just bought this thing. Literally, just bought it this week off Amazon.
We're trying to build our fancy booth stuff for future use.
Yeah. So anyway, this is some stuff that I picked up, and if the power supply would have worked, I would have fired it up tonight.
Yeah.
It didn't work, so
does.
I didn't plug it into this. I tested it manually, and noticed that after a few seconds, the power supply was getting hot, and I didn't even have a chance. I did look at the voltage once; it was like
Yeah.
1.5, so it was something is starting to short, which probably means capacitors are fried.
Right.
Yeah, well, these
Yeah, they're shorting out. so-
most people I've seen in the Commodore community online, and I've not looked at that a lot compared to say the Atari stuff I used to read
Yeah.
about all the time, but that's a pretty common thing. Is they're almost like don't even use power supplies, buy aftermarkets or build your
Yeah,
own, or
build
fix
your
the
own.
old ones if you can instead of
Well, my
risking the
plan-
hardware.
Yeah, my plan is to crack the case on that and put it in a new case and fix it. So it's
Mine's
down.
very simple. The one I have. I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to be a piece of cake. I just haven't bought the pieces
There's only like-
to replace everything.
there's
it's a couple caps and a rectifier. is
There's
what's
like
in
8
mine.
parts in these things.
Yeah.
It's not a lot. It's a 5. You got a 5-volt regulator,
Yep.
a couple caps, a rectifier. That's about it.
And then
really.
the AC stuff basically connects
And
directly
just
to it off the
straight off the
transformer. So
Yeah, they're simple. That's the nice
Yep.
thing. Well, the nice thing is there's so many schematics and so many how to help. If this doesn't work, huge amount of help information out there. For a collector, these are still affordable.
yep.
So are the TRS-80s. The ones that are getting skyrocketing, I cannot for the life of me understand why, is the C128s. They are more expensive now than they were.
Scarcity, I
And
guess.
that's maybe, but it's one of those that I was happy to luck into this one honestly, and I got it for. I paid her money for it, but I paid a reasonable price for
Right.
it.
I do have a C64 purchase story. At the
Do tell.
2005 Hamfest here in our area,
Mm-hmm.
a guy had a whole box of these. There were 3 C64s and a dead 128. 2 of the floppy drives, and a whole box of homebrew packet radio gear
Yep.
and all the cables. $15 I paid for that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I sold them
more
on
than that.
eBay because I had no money. I made at least $60 on each C64. I said that I'm not happy that I sold them, especially because I need a floppy drive for the one I want now.
Yeah.
But
Well, we all have
that was
those
one of
sad
my better
stories.
eBay success stories when I
Yeah.
still did eBay stuff.
Yeah.
Was the C64 from $15 for the group to $60 a unit. So most of which I sold to people in Canada. I mean, almost every one of them went to Canada.
Oh, wow.
There must be a thing in Canada. Tell us if you're from Canada, if C64s are a thing in Canada more so than here, because that was the impression I got. I sold 2 to Canadian folks, different people, and one to a guy in Bloomington who actually met me there. It's only eBay
funny.
in-person purchase I ever did. Met me in the Lowe's parking lot up there and handed off the C64. So
Oh, that's cool.
to save him shipping. So,
That's okay. I get that too. Yeah. I have been looking for C64 for a bit,
sure.
and this
So
literally
obviously you had
just
the
got,
big SX64 that was in our very first full-length video. If you
Yeah.
go back and look, he
Yeah, I
shows that
still
off
have it.
there. So,
and
so-
I found a place that has the case parts for that.
oh, great. Yeah.
So the guys 3D
But
printed all
he
the
didn't
little
have
slide.
he didn't have the regular C64, which you
it's
got to
the-
have one of those. So.
Yeah, and I kind of wanted back. I wanted to get into one of these because I want to do the Sid. You can do the Sid on that, but it is really, really packed.
Yeah,
in there.
you may not want to modify that slightly
yeah.
rarer machine. So.
Yeah, but I want to get this thing to where it's going to do, be able to do some really fun things with it.
Yeah.
I want to get some software for it, or may have to write it, that gives you sequencers and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I can use this to sequence with the MIDI out, so it can be used to sequence something else.
Right.
Which I think
Absolutely.
would be kind of fun. So yeah, it's I have plans for this.
That's pretty cool. I look forward to see it in the future. A lot of the stuff that we've done, I think, we'll bring out in the future when we get them more functional or do more cool things with them. So
Yeah, and
we've been at this for many months, about 8 months, I guess now, 9 months. 3 old tech
9
dudes,
months,
and we're
yeah,
still
wow.
just showing off our toys. We have a lot of them. So
I mean, I have a full train set.
oh, that could
Like
be cool.
not
Ooh,
small.
we need to do a video about that.
I'm
They're
up
like
for that.
I can fill 2 4x8 sheet of
That's cool.
plywood layouts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
you
I've
need to do
got-
that.
Most of it's
tech.
put away right now, but
That's
it's
old
one of
tech,
those. It is really, but they have the technology they've moved in. Those are now fully computer controlled.
No, I'm not
They
surprised.
put an Arduino in the engine now to control it, and
that's
I'm
cool.
like, okay, mine's still running on like just DC
pretty
voltage
cool.
on the track,
That's
but what I could do, there is, if I could find it, I think C64 has it, but you can get the controller for that running it from a Commodore computer.
That's cool.
I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
okay, I'm in for
People
that.
did a lot with the Commodore.
I have, I've spent so much money over the years on hobbies. My kids are like, when can we do this? When can we do this? When do we have time?
Right. That's time hurts. but
Oh, time is painful.
we always wish we had more of it. Being an adult is what it is, but
It is what it is.
I think it's worth it
It's
to
not
take
what
out
I
time
thought it
for
was
stuff
gonna
like
be.
this in life. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I want to start over. No,
If I had to start, I would still have some of my original stuff.
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
go back and save some of the stuff that you didn't mean to get rid
Yeah,
of.
like Commodore now 128 anymore, just throw it away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've made that
guys.
mistake. So
Want to wrap it up, maybe?
yeah, I believe that's it for this one.
Let's go around. So be sure to like this video and like our channel. Subscribe. Our channel is growing. We've crossed the
Yep.
50 threshold. We can't wait to get to 100,000. And like us
Or
on
100.
Facebook.
Pretty big jump.
I know. Hey,
50 to 100,000.
it just takes one viral video. I don't know
I have.
if we're
that's
viral
happened.
video material, but if,
Yeah, Kevin with Junkyard Digs, they filmed like a 3
Yeah.
episode thing. And
that's
it went
cool.
from
We watch all
nothing to
sorts of
200,000.
Junkyard Digs is cool. I
Yeah.
know he's done a bunch of shooting over the summer, and they're going to edit together as all winter, I think. So,
They in one of the videos they show Bedford.
they came through here.
They really
Yeah.
but they were driving through and they showed Bedford. I'm like,
That's wild.
I don't know what that's at.
That's awesome.
Yeah, total fanboy moment there for a
Yeah.
minute. I'm like, that's so cool. And he's like half my age or something.
Right.
I'm actually probably he's
This fella on
probably-
this channel,
yeah.
he goes out and they basically get old cars started in junkyards that should not start.
Oh yeah, or find him in a field. I mean,
They're
I love
working
that.
a video right now that's along the lines of
Found a car behind the barn.
it's an
thing.
old Plymouth or something, and the guy that's they're buying it from, he's like,
He's like, yeah, you're right.
yeah, that's like he's telling their camera guy, yeah, they're not going to get this started.
Yeah.
They'd only get it started, they end up driving it out of there. They're still releasing
Oh, yeah.
those videos, but
Yeah.
I've seen the pictures on Instagram and
Man,
stuff.
all
so
it takes
like-
is fuel, air, and spark.
That's right.
Yeah, those
They
old
make
ones
it
a little
go.
bit easier.
So-
Yeah, this one it requires a little bit more than that for something like this. But yeah, that's the thing. I just love messing with this stuff, and I mean, the same kind of idea. This is they like doing cars. I like doing this stuff, but it's still it's one of those love of just messing with this old stuff.
Yeah.
Because you open this computer up, you can replace every component on the circuit board. You open up your modern computer.
Good luck even getting the soldered, anything unsoldered off that. I tried
Oh
that
yeah,
once.
and there's so many.
So
like this
tiny.
is probably what I don't think it's even 12. This is probably a 2-layer board. I think it's more than
it's
2
even.
layers.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you can literally fix traces that are broke. You
Yep.
can't even approach that on a modern
No,
computer.
it's not even worth the trouble.
No, it really isn't. Which is sad, but
Anyway.
that's part of it.
Indeed.
Yeah. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm Timmy.
I'm Nathan.
I'm Justin.
We're 3 old tech dudes.
Later.
So you guys want to sit down? I'll just prop this down there. Sure. That could be as good intro as anything.